All right, let's take a look at a set of stocks that some are claiming are the new AI leadership stocks that are going to lead the market roaring to new all-time highs that it can sustain and keep going. So let's take a quick look. You've probably heard of some of them: Broadcom, Google, Lumentum, and Celestica. All right, we'll take a look here. The first one we got up here is Broadcom. We're going to look at the daily chart. We've got the 21 plotted here. Look, it is setting higher highs. Money flow in the daily is green. It's been kind of in and out. It's been, whips on people here recently, up at this level, then down here, up here, then down back again. But overall, although it's very volatile, the reality is the stock has been setting higher highs, stronger highs. It's trading better than NVIDIA. I'll give it that for sure. Let's go over to the IBD data and take a look. Composite rating, very solid. The group is doing well. It's ranked 18th overall still. That's semiconductors, one of the semi groups. Very volatile. Just be aware of that. And if we go down to accumulation distribution on Broadcom, it's solid. It's a big stock. Market cap obviously is huge. Gets a B for accumulation distribution, up, down, volume 1.1. So look, that's modest. That's okay. I wouldn't say that is tremendous, to be perfectly blunt. And it is a huge market cap. So it's going to take a lot to move that. Relative strength 95 tells you that. It can't get to a relative strength 99 that easily. It takes a ton of money to move it there. So that's Broadcom. Overall, look, it's not bad. It is acting in a leadership way, for sure. Let's get over to Google. GOOG, fairly similar here on the chart. We got the 21 up here. It's been respecting that, bounced off it a couple times recently, and it is setting higher highs. So again, that aligns with kind of the shift we're seeing. If people are fading NVIDIA, TPU, GPU, whatever you want to say, or however you're going to look at that debate, I care more about what's actually happening in the markets. And they are moving towards Google. Again, this is a behemoth here. You see some red. It's actually sold off since that little low volume rally we got over the Thanksgiving week. Google's actually been retracing a little bit, but coming down gently towards the 21. Money flow is technically red on the daily right now. It hasn't really been all that decisive here in the last few weeks, but it's drifting higher. So it's showing leadership, but there's not exactly a ton of volume getting behind it, in my humble opinion. But it is what it is. It's plugging away and leading the way for now, so to speak. Let's check it out on IBD. GOOG's going to be another one that's going to most likely show up, as a strong performer in IBD in the checkup and all the ratings. 99 composite. The group is doing well, ranked 27th. And we get down here to, again, it's so big. We're talking almost 4 trillion. 4 trillion. Relative strength of 95. That takes a lot of muscle to hold that thing up. That means it's outperforming 95% of all those stocks. Accumulation distribution A+, very strong. Up-down volume is solid, not tremendous. Funds have not exactly been plowing in. So overall, look, it looks good. It looks solid. Is this thing going to take the market to new all-time highs and never turn back? I'm not so sure about that. Celestica. Here's one. Number 1 ranked stock by Investors Business Daily. It has been that way for a while now. And you can see it's really, going through the grinder here with the 21-day. Money flow on the daily has been up, down, up, down, up, down, very weavy. And right now it's literally fighting with the 21-day. Volume's actually picked up since the low volume mini melt up there over the Thanksgiving break. Volume's actually jumped up on Celestica to the downside. Yesterday was a big down day for Celestica, and it's, like I said, it's wrestling literally right now with that 21. This one here has been blessed as kind of like, look, this is the Google-friendly data center play or infrastructure play, if you will. And it's been a very, very, very strong performer. And IBD has it ranked accordingly. But I will say, the reality is it hasn't set a new high since early November. And it kind of went up here and tickled that multiple times. And now it's back on the 21-day. So it is what it is. Definitely a strong performer, but I don't think it's necessarily out of the woods yet. Let's check it out on IBD. And by the way, this is exactly the way I would look at any stock. I'm looking at it in this video from the perspective of this kind of new AI trade. Is there a shift? Is there a new way to play this? New leaders that we need to pay attention to. Celestica here on IBD checkup. 99 overall, ranked first in its group. Electric contract manufacturing group's ranked 5th overall. A+ accumulation relative strength rating for the group. So This is obviously a very, very key group. The market knows it. It's been on all over it most of the year. Celestica, relative strength 98, $35 billion company. So it's huge in the grand scheme of things, in life in general to the average person. But this thing is tiny compared to Google or even Broadcom. B, accumulation distribution, up, down, volume 1.6, which is good. I like at least 1.5 or higher. And then funds are clearly moving in here. No surprise there on Celestica. It's been doing well. But I will note again, it has been playing with that 21-day and having to fight back and forth with that. I don't think it's necessarily out of the woods there. Let's go to Lumentum. All right, this one here has been on fire. It's definitely setting higher highs. It's way above the 21. It's extended way above that. You got mostly green bars here, mostly green volume bars that are higher than the red. Money flow is, a bit inconclusive, but I mean, it's been performing well. Even today's candle here is way up in the upper half of the range for now. So it's been a strong performer. At this point here, late October kind of launched off. VAV is a stock we hold. Did the same or similar, but Lumentum is definitely kind of taking that momentum a step further. So, makes sense. We've got 4 stocks here. Let's check out IBD. This one's ranked 99 composite rating as well. And we'll go down here to accumulation distribution. It's a smaller one, 21 billion as if it was small, but in today's reality, it's not a small cap, but it's a medium cap. We've got a 99 relative strength, so it's been performing better than just about every other stock on the market. Accumulation distribution rated A, up, down, volume 1.6, and then they've been moving in for a couple of quarters. So in summary, the question is, if NVIDIA and Palantir and others are faltering, are there others that can just take the ball and run? My answer would be, look, it's not my job to make predictions. I'm going to see what the market's telling me. The market's telling me that it can, it can identify, and it is, the stocks that make the most sense, are probably the most appropriate for that. But if you look at math, market caps, and how the indices are weighted, momentum, sentiment, does this group or this group plus some more, is that enough to counter, what you have with Oracle, CoreWeave, Meta, what you have with NVIDIA, Palantir, what you have with some of the other AI plays, and who's going to win this battle, this tug of war? I have no idea. I'm going to watch what the market tells me. Right now, what I'm seeing is we have generally low volume advances. Right now, market's up 0.25% on the S&P on no volume. We're seeing a lot of that type of action here for the last couple of weeks, which tells me that it's relatively inconclusive on an accumulation distribution standpoint. On higher time frames, it looks like, and money flow especially, institutional investors started exiting en masse a couple of weeks ago, and they still have things under distribution, and we have low volume kind of relief rallies. So that's where we're at, I think, is how that's going to be sorted out. Is this new AI trade enough to thrust the whole market forward? That remains to be seen. We'll see what happens. Time will tell.